profile reviews. Something that so many people just love, can't get their hands on. It's an addiction. It is the nicotine for every single Skyblock player, if they're not already abusing nicotine. For some reason, people love profile reviews, so much so that I have been doing multiple profile review streams a week where all I do is sit there, PV somebody, and review their profile for 4 to 6 hours. Not one person, multiple people, like 50, 60 people a day, maybe more, multiple times a week, and people like watching that. So, for some reason, this has been going crazy. I have optimized it. I have made it even better, the perfect Hypixel progression guide to ever exist, and I am so excited to show it to you guys. One thing to note, I'm not an Iron Man player. I don't play Iron Man. However, there'll be a video in the future for Iron Man, just because I don't want you guys to feel left out, don't worry. But let's get into the video. Before we get into the video, I do want to ask you guys to please scroll down and subscribe. We are going for 30K, and the YouTube rank and every subscription helps me out immensely. I also stream at twitch.tv/theogyadi, so check me out there. Let's get into the video, boys. You get YouTube rank by the end of summer, you'll do a 3-build giveaway since you're bored. Boys, wait. Let me reiterate that. If I get YouTube rank by the end of summer, Scaps will donate and give away 3 billion coins. Ball's in your court. So after spending multiple hours on my island, just hopping around, looking through the PVs, PVing whoever it is, you know, all this crap, looking through, well, you don't have farming, you should probably get farming up. You don't have harp or dojo done, you should probably do harp and dojo. No. Well, I have optimized it. I have made something way cooler, way more amazing for you guys. And it is the ultimate Hypixel Skyblock progression flowchart. That is right. Flowcharts are honestly one of my most favorite things, because after making this, I love it so much. So here we are with the flowchart pulled up. Now, before I spoil, one thing I will say is this flowchart, when I have been streaming this, right, I've had so many hundreds of people asking for the flowchart, and I'm sorry I haven't been able to give it to you now, but I don't want to leak. I want to make a video on it first, right? You guys got to subscribe if you want the flowchart. So a copy of this, I'm going to say right now, will be found in the description of this video. Feel free to click on it. Feel free to head to this flowchart. It's interactive. You can scroll in, you can scroll out. A few things before we actually go through it. A few things I got to explain. Number one, I do have videos up of all these things with hyperlinks and things that will eventually get videos, right? So when I inevitably release my mining guide, this will be hyperlinked. We click over here on the farming setup. You guys should be able to interact with it. Here is the farming guide. You take a look at the auto brewer. Here's the auto brewer video. So it's very intuitive and it has all that information. Other things to note. Black lines mean just general progression, just follow it. Red lines mean if you don't have this, do this. Green lines mean if you do have this, continue. And therefore, let's work through the entire progression of Hypixel Skyblock through a flowchart. I'm very excited for this. So step one, you go through, if you're a new player, first thing you need to obtain, looting for Aurora Staff. Now this could always change, right? But as of right now, it's still accurate. If you don't have it, you progress through different levels to get level ups for coins, but as well as progressing through Dwarven comps and selling Mithril, because I'm relatively positive that's one of the easiest ways to get 1.2 mil to be able to get your Aurora Staff. Once you have that, you head back, and then you see, do you have a 100 mil purse? If you don't, you should be grinding treasure hoarders to make 1450 mil an hour until you do have a 100 mil purse. Once you have that 100 mil purse, you are either going to go the farming route or the mining route, or you can mix up the two, but technically it is the most efficient to pick one or the other and start grinding coins until it's a max setup at least. Once you have a max farming setup and you're like, man, I don't want to farm anymore, then you can also go into mining. During this grind to 6 bill net worth, because 6 bill net worth is the net worth that you are shooting for, you should also be getting E-Man 7. I do have an E-Man 7 guide out. It is not an RCM guide. There are tons of other RCM guides you can go with. But other optional items that are going to, optional but highly recommended, that are going to help make your grind to E-Man 7 a lot easier would be Mythic Enderman an atom split, an overflux, and 800 MP at least. You know it's only 1 billion coins to get 1000 MP? MP is so cheap now, and with 1000 MP you can do most of the content in the game. By the time you hit 6 bill net worth, these are other things that you should be doing at the same time, but that aren't really required. Things like Island Bestiary, Relays, Harp, doing your enchanting every day, doing Rift. These are all kind of Skyblock XP things. They're not required, but they're going to really flesh out your profile and make it look a lot better. By the time you hit 6 billion coins in net worth, your next 2 goals are going to be Hyperion and Terminator. These are the 2 biggest items in the game, 2 biggest goals in the game. They should be gotten at the same time. If you currently don't have the money to get them, you should revert back to the farming setup or back to the mining setup in order to get the money to obtain them. Once you obtain them, as well as getting a G-Drac plus 10 mil gold collection, because there are a ton of people that don't have 10 mil gold collection. It takes like a couple hours to mine out once you have a mining setup. And 1 billion coins of bank, you need to be looking at either getting into Blaze Slayer, fishing, or Kudra, and working on a max setup for all of them. These are all viable options for lots of coins, because fishing, you can make like 50 mil an hour solo. Blaze, you can make I believe it's like 60 to 80 mil an hour with a max setup, maybe even more if you have good RNG. And obviously, I always recommend Kudra, but Kudra is a little bit more expensive to get into. Don't worry, Kudra's not dead. I will post a video on that. I've had it recorded for a couple weeks, but I just haven't gotten a chance to post it. What you grind should also be dependent on who is mayor, but also specifically on who or on what setup you have, right? So if you have a fishing setup, but you don't have a Blaze setup or a Kudra setup, you should be fishing until you can get one of these. Once you max one of these skills, you want to start moving into the other skill until you have all of these maxed. But also grinding stuff based off of who is mayor is going to be extremely efficient. Dungeons during Paul, Garden during Finnegan, mining fiestas during Cole, Slayers during Aatrox, fishing festivals during Marina, alchemy dungeons foraging during Derpy. As always, use an auto brewer for alchemy, island foraging method for foraging. That's going to be the best bang for your buck. And then you do this until you have obtained 15 bill net worth. 15 bill net worth is basically the golden number. As soon as you have 15 bill net worth, you can progress into whatever you want in the game, and you should be able to make a max setup. And if you don't have the money to make a max setup, or if grinding one of these things doesn't make money, you can always revert back to Blaze, fishing, and Kudra as well. By the time you have 15 bill net worth, these are things that you should have obtained. You should have max essence shops, should have finished Spooky Festival, 1200 MP. You should at least have all the armor sets, even if they're not like God Roll or whatever. God Roll doesn't really matter anymore, but you should at least have them, as well as Carpentry 50. And then down here, a lot of this stuff seems out of place, like Rev 9, Terra 9, Spend 9. You can get these before this, but this is more like a checklist of Skyblock level of things that you can grind for if you are past 15 build net worth and like, hey, I need to get Skyblock level. How do I do? What can I do? These are almost everything in the game, or the big parts of the game where you should have Skyblock XP left. Over here, you'll notice I haven't gone to the right. These are checklists, gear for Tier 5 Kudra and gear for Master Mode Floor 7, or Master Mode equipment that you're going to want to obtain at some point now or in the future. The Kudra one is a little bit short, and actually I have not included the Kudra guide as a hyperlink. I definitely should fix that, and I will add that before this video goes live. This is not fully encompassed. Oh, dang, I keep doing that. This is not fully encompassing, but these are a lot of very good items that you either should have or should be working on. Same for the Master Mode items. So this altogether is the fully comprehensive flowchart for Hypixel Skyblock progression. Again, if you have questions or recommendations, it's not like I can always add other things. Like I can add Spend 7 you should get if you want to get Overflux, so I could add a little part over here, Spend 7 checklist. There could be a lot of checklists added, but the two biggest pieces of content in the game that people struggle with getting all the gear for is Kudra and Dungeons. That's why I elected to do that. But yeah, if you guys need this, if you want to take a look at it, it'll be posted in the description. I would like to make an Iron Man one. The issue with making an Iron Man one is I don't know Iron Man progression as well as an Iron Man player. So I would have to get an endgame Iron Man player. If there are any endgame Iron Man players watching this that would want to help me put together an Iron Man flowchart Hypixel Skyblock progression, let me know. Comment. Try to get in contact with me. I would love to do that. That'd be a great video. But just for reference, just in case you guys are like, you're like, oh, Yadi, you just made the flowchart, but it doesn't actually apply. Let's take a look at, let me go to my Discord, let me pull somebody random, and then I will place them on the flowchart and talk about their progression. So Zuna FXC, taking a look at their progression, they are level 147. Again, Skyblock level doesn't really matter, you're taking a look at the net worth. So 1.6 mil net worth. Immediately, we head over to the flowchart. Where's that going to place them? That's going to place them between 6 mil net worth and 100 mil purse. It's going to place them right here. So we're looking for a farming setup. We're looking for a mining setup. We're looking for E-Man 7. If they don't have E-Man 7, these are going to be items that help them. But we're hoping that they're also working on these as well. It's a very easy checklist. And then we go back to the profile. We see, oop, no Enderman 7. So they're going to need Atom Split, Overflux, Mythic Enderman, all that good stuff. They are working on a mining setup, which is amazing to see. They're progressing through mining. I don't believe they progressed through farming yet, but they are enjoying themselves mining. Perfect. That's awesome. That is what we like to see. But then you take somebody with an endgame kind of profile. We take, I think Droopy X is relatively deep. Yes. Level 350, he's super progressed, he has 12 mil net worth. We take a look at the flowchart again. Looking at the flowchart, he should be right around here, grinding out either Kudra, Blaze, or Fishing. A lot of people also at this point start grinding out dungeons, which is fine, it's just not going to be super efficient. But what we're hoping to see is, again, we're hoping to see a hype, a term, a 10 mil gold collection with 1 bill bank, as well as currently working on 1200 MP, Spooky Festival, Kudra, Blaze, Fishing setups. And we take a look back at the profile and we see that he does have Enderman 7. We take a look at his MP close to 1200. He's currently working on it. He is playing Kudra. He is working on that setup, which is absolutely amazing. We can even go back. He does need a gemstone on his Aspect of the Void, but we could even go back to the flowchart, look at the Kudra checklist, and just go through and look at the profile and tell him exactly what he needs. Does have that G-Drag, does not have 10 mil gold collection, so definitely needs it, and he does not have the 1 bill bank, so that's definitely something he should work on before he progresses too deep into Kudra. But it doesn't look like he's playing Infernal yet, so he's kind of getting away with it because he still needs the rep for Infernal, but he is close. But yeah, so if you guys did enjoy, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, comment any questions, comment what you'd like to see in the future. This flowchart was honestly a ton of fun to make. It's been really helpful for the profile review streams. Again, if you want to be a part of those, everything is done through the Discord, so make sure to join the Discord below. And with that, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace!